The year is 1613, and the first European to dip his oar into the mighty Ottawa River is French explorer Samuel de Champlain. He and his crew paddle down the undisturbed shorelines of the Ottawa River. They are in search of passage to the Far East. The trade route is never found, but the dawn of a new world has begun. 200 years would pass before the first European settlers will arrive. They came to exploit the area's rich supply of timber and fur. By 1840, settlements began to develop along the river and within the valley. With an influx of thirsty and hungry lumberjacks, early hotels became one of the first industries to be established. These hotels were notorious for good food, poisonous drink, and violent episodes. This was a lawless time in the Ottawa Valley, and many bartenders spent more time sewing up knife wounds than serving their local patrons. For over 150 years, there's been a hotel serving thirsty customers in this very location. The old Lakeside Hotel is located just across the Ontario border in the tiny Quebec village of Portage de Fort. Early settlers thought that this area was destined to be the economic center of the region. But when the railway passed the town by in the 1890s, that dream began to fade. The hotel and the churches are the only pillars that have endured the test of time. Saturday nights at the Lakeside Hotel were legendary for barroom brawls and carousing, which all gave way to confession and prayer on Sunday morning. Less than a decade ago, the former owners changed the name from the Lakeside to the River Club, a move that does not play well with local residents. Lillis Hewitt has lived in Portage de Fort since 1953. She was also a bartender at the Lakeside Hotel for over 30 years.
And the whole atmosphere has changed. Now it seems the town's just kind of taking a deep breath and slowing down. And I'm not sure quite why. Unfortunately, the older men that used to come in have all passed away. Like, there was almost 20 guys used to come in every morning, sit and drink coffee, Coke, some wine and Coke. Not necessarily to get drunk. Yeah. There was a few, but mostly for the companionship.
There was a mystical trail that once ran through the area, which is now Portage du Fort. It was used for over 10,000 years by Native Canadian tribes in the area. That was until European settlers decided to build bars and churches all over it, consequently messing a good thing up.
We had a lot of fights. We had gangs that come over from Renfrew. Time, of course, you could drink here till 3 in the morning, where you couldn't in Ontario. Yeah, I remember there wasn't a table left or a chair left standing.
In 1913, Portage de Fort was razed to the ground. The only thing spared by the flames were the town's limestone buildings, the churches, and the Lakeside Hotel. Ted Howard has been a bartender in Canada for over 30 years. He currently manages the old Lakeside and lives in the hotel all year round.
I worked in White Lake at a place called the Brigadoon, which used to be the T-Bell. In Eganville, I was working at Rooney's. And I worked at the American in Merrickville. Of all those places, this is the only one that still stands. All the other ones have either been changed or gutted or burnt to the ground. These used to be the centerpieces of the community. And that's not anymore. But the reality of it is that the people, they're gone. Yeah. They used to be the farmers. They used to be the small business people. Well, those guys are gone. You know, look around. There's one small business, right? A couple of restaurants. I mean, that's, you know, they're not coming back. Their families are gone. They've gotten educated. They're in the big cities. I mean, the small communities have just been gutted.
In recent years, the sounds of live music and spirited conversation have been replaced with the solitary drone from the video lottery machines, which have become the #1 source of revenue for the hotel, perhaps signifying the end of the hotel's long and cultural significance in this community.